How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the episode number 4 for the Couch Potatoes. Coach Potatoes. God damn. I can't.
You came up with the name of it.
I literally practiced it like 5 times. This is Anthony. I'm with Mike. It is 9:25. So I don't think we made an announcement.
I guess we're not. TJ and Ben aren't here today.
TJ.
Just go running solo. 9:25. Oh, man.
September 25th. I don't think we announced it anywhere, but just so we can get ahead of these NFL games, we're going to start doing these on Tuesdays, posting them hopefully by the latest Thursday, so we can get ahead of the entire week of football. So that way we're not predicting after the games are over, because there's really no point to that. So starting off top of the hour, Tiger Woods finally getting a tour championship, and that is the extent of my knowledge. Here's Ben and TJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. Tiger, obviously he ran the game for, 15 years, something like that, before he had the very public fallout, with his ex-wife and everything, and she whacks him over the head with a golf club and all that kind of fun stuff. And then, he goes on hiatus. He has a bunch of back problems, doesn't play, the way everybody was used to seeing Tiger play.
Tried to change his swing.
Yep.
Multiple times.
He went through a lot of ups and downs. Mainly downs, and kind of the last what would you say 4 tournaments he's been
last 3 or 4 he's been
in
close.
contention.
Yeah.
He's there final day, and then the final day kind of eludes him, and he kind of just falls off. But Tour Championship, he came to play, and it really looked like the Tiger of old, where it was kind of like Tiger was playing, and the field was just there for show. Just kind of, it was a formality basically. He played some good golf. I watched bits and pieces of it, and he looks good. I saw Westgate made him the new favorite for the Masters at 9-1, something like that. So we could be seeing a resurgence of Tiger and him starting to dominate the leaderboards again.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to remember, he was so dominant that he didn't play for almost 2 years and still remained number 1 in golf. He basically didn't play forever before he got removed from number 1. And I think for the longest time he just didn't have any confidence in his back and his swing, and then he's kind of rallied together 3-4 good results in the last couple of tournaments, and I think it just all came together this time. I think it's just good for golf because I'm sure you guys saw the video, and I'm sure the listeners saw the video also of him when he was walking to the 18th hole. Every person that was there was following him.
Yep.
There was a funny thing on Twitter. It was when you bring out a pack of gum in school, because it was just 50,000 people just following behind him. And I think that's what golf needed. If anybody was going to get people to turn away from football on a Sunday, it's Tiger winning a tournament.
Yeah, that's probably pretty true. He brings in, we talk a lot about, in all the different sports we talk about, putting fans in the stands, bringing in money.
That's Tiger.
That's Tiger. It really is. And so obviously there's still some people who aren't fans of him, and the things he did and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying I condone anything he did before, but on a just purely athletic standpoint, just him as a golfer, it's damn.
Yeah, and again, everyone has their opinions on Tiger, but I'll be honest, and the last 4 times I watched him, I've been rooting for him to win. Just, he went through all this stuff just to come back, and you never, no matter who they are, you don't want to see, someone that great, fall off as hard as he did, so it's good to see his win. I think the interesting thing will be now, are people still excited now that he's won to continue to watch? Now, obviously, they're going to watch the Masters because he'll be one of the favorites, if not the favorite. And the question is, at this point, are you going to watch that kind of random tournament on the weekend now that he's already his comeback win is kind of finalized? You're going to watch your majors, of course. So, I'll be honest, I'm kind of a fair weather fan. I watch the Masters and I watch the big tournaments, but I don't watch every weekend. For the average fan, are they going to go watch that now that Tiger's already won? I think they will for a little bit, just to see if he can sustain it. But if he gets back to that point, it's just going to be kind of. I think the viewings now come from, can he catch Jack in majors?
Right. Well, he may if he continues playing like he is now, and plays to just shit. Golfers play till they're 60 plus. He's got at least 15 years. I don't even remember how old Tiger is now. He's early 40s, something like that. He could easily catch him if he does work. But
yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But good for Tiger. I'm glad he won, and it's good for golf. And definitely more excited for the majors going forward.
So
or the Masters.
Transitioning a little bit, touching on college football this coming week. There's a fair amount of good matchups this weekend. A couple of top 10 showdowns. So we'll do a little speed round, kind of do some quick picks, see who we think's going to win. First one, kind of interesting. Stanford at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a 5.5-point favorite.
At Notre Dame, I've watched both teams play a decent amount. Notre Dame looked real good last time. I'll be honest, I've seen Stanford play more just previous years from how David Shaw is their coach, I think.
I think so, yeah.
From just how they play, just being Arizona fans and watching Pac-12. Stanford's tough. Stanford's one of those teams that they're like built to win on the road because they run the ball and they play good defense. And they're not like your typical kind of college team now where it's run and gun, spread option. And they also had a huge come from behind win at Oregon that they're kind of riding high on. So I actually am going to go with Stanford, I think, to, based on the odds, be the upset and win the game.
Bill, what say you?
Well, I'm going Notre Dame.
Shocker.
Shocker. Don't get me wrong, I love that comeback victory. I mean, it was one of those where I changed the channel. I was like, this is over.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, everyone's yelling at me to turn it back on. I'm like, what in the world? But Oregon, I don't think, is no Notre Dame. I think they close it out. I'm going Notre Dame.
I'm with Ben on this one. I think Stanford goes on the road, takes out Notre Dame. Notre Dame's quarterback's been inconsistent at best, and I think Stanford playing the way they do, controlling the clock, control that crock pot very well. Control the clock really well. Bryce Love's a beast. If he can get going with that defense, I think they'll do well. I think they're going to sneak in and get a win. Other top 10 matchup happening this week. Number 4, Ohio State goes into number 9, Penn State. Ohio State is actually favored 3.5.
And I think they'll win. Penn State's good, and I know that they're at home, but Ohio State's just looked very good. And I really think the winner of this game, it's early. It would only be, the 5th game for both those teams, I think. But I think the winner of this game makes the college football playoff. And I think it'll be Ohio State.
Wow, I'm not even going to pretend like I've seen either team this year. All I see, one's number 4, one's number 9. I'm going to go with the home team.
Also homer. I'm taking Ohio State as well. As much as I do like Penn State, I think they are quite good. Ohio State's just freaking lighting it up. They're looking very good. I do agree with you. I think the winner of this game will lock up a spot in the college football playoff, primarily because I think this is their toughest game in conference for each team. So they can get through this. If they can beat whoever it is, if Penn State beats Ohio State or Ohio State beats Penn State, I think they can get through the rest of their conference unscathed. So they will ride their way to the college football playoff. So we'll see how that goes.
So let's talk about a little baseball real quick before we get into all the NFL stuff. So we're looking at a lot of teams. The season's coming down to an end here, and a lot of teams are starting to clinch. So I think at least the Red Sox have already clinched their division as well as the best record in the American League. The Yankees clinched the wild card. Cleveland clinched the division. And then Houston and Oakland both have clinched playoff spots. But they're technically still in a battle. There's 5 games left. Oakland's back 5 games. So Houston's probably going to win the division. So basically in the AL, it's going to be, I think, pretty much what we predicted, which was Boston, Cleveland, Houston all win the divisions. New York playing Oakland. It looks like right now New York will be the home team, but they have a 2-game lead, again with 5 games to go for both teams. So we'll see what happens, but I think it kind of played out in the American League as we thought a couple weeks ago, which is the way it worked out. And then National League, Atlanta clinched the division, and then the other 2 divisions are still up for grabs. Technically, the Cubs and the Brewers and the Cardinals, none of them have clinched the playoff berth yet. The Dodgers, Colorado haven't clinched the playoff berth yet. The only thing that should really change is that Arizona, I think, has now been eliminated. They're 9 games back from the Dodgers and 8 games back from the Cardinals. So they've been eliminated. I think it's shaking up the way we thought, which is that I think we both had the Dodgers winning the division.
I had Colorado.
You Colorado. So Colorado's still there. I know I had the Dodgers. We both had the Cubs winning the division. And then it's looking like Milwaukee and Colorado will be the wild cards unless Colorado overtakes the Dodgers for the division.
St. Louis is still technically in the lead for the wild card at the moment. We could get 3 teams
Oh,
from the
that's true.
Central.
That's true. By half a game.
Yep. So that second wild card spot is looking pretty tight. That one's going to come down probably to the last day, honestly. We'll see how it goes. I think the Central race is getting a lot closer than I want it to. Game and a half lead for the Cubs. I do still think they eke it out and they get the division. But Milwaukee's definitely giving them a run for their money. St. Louis is always freaking good. It's really annoying that they're always good, but they just are. I still do believe in my Rockies, though. I think they're going to sneak it in. I think they're going to get there.
Well, the Cubs do end with St. Louis, their final series of the year. I think the Rockies end with the Diamondbacks, although the Diamondbacks are currently playing the Dodgers. I saw today that I guess the Diamondbacks manager told the Rockies manager that they would continue to play their guys even though they were eliminated, just kind of for the spirit of everything. One quick question before we move on. I want to see what you guys think. The Red Sox have 106 wins. They have 5 games left. Only 6 teams in MLB history before have won 110 games in a season. So we saw this before a couple years back, right? The Warriors kind of chased their regular season record and they got it, but then they ended up not winning the title. And say what you want, but playing all the way through when you didn't have to might have affected them in the playoffs. Patriots also. If you're the Red Sox, do you go for 110 wins to be only the 7th team ever to do that, needing to win 4 or 5, and you play Betts and you play JD Martinez and you pitch Sale and you do what you can, or do you kind of let all those guys rest, looking at the bigger picture of possibly winning a World Series?
In my mind, you rest. The end game for any season is win the World Series. That's what you get paid to do. I don't give a shit about a regular season record. If they were maybe like a game away, I could potentially see an argument for it, but no, I don't think there's any reason to. They've already, and not only that, they clinched the best record in the leagues. They're getting home field regardless. Yeah. What's the point?
Oh yeah, what is the point? I'm no jack about baseball, but it's just, again, you can be undefeated the regular season all you want. That guy that wins the championship, though, they're gonna go, oh yeah, well we won the World Series. Sorry about that, bud.
So I agree with both of you, but just play devil's advocate real quick, just something to think about. One, I think, as a fan, fans are always going to say, well, we won the championship, right? No one really, if you're the Warriors, they remember their 73 and 9 years not winning the championship. If you're the Patriots, you remember your 18 and 1 years not winning the championship. And that's the fan view. But I think the player's view is always like, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime magical season. I mean, baseball's been around forever, and only 6 teams have done it. Like 2 of them were like in the 1800s. Like, when you're a player in that magical season, like, you want to do what you can to get there. The other caveat I think I have is that baseball, not that it's not a difficult sport, it's definitely the less, strain on your body than basketball and football, where I don't know if the rest is as important except for pitchers. Yeah. So I think if they were to sit Sale, but they played Betts, the other argument can be made, too, with hitters is that you don't want to rest for a week and then have to go hit, and then you're out of your groove. So Betts and Martinez are so hot right now that, your rest is good, but you don't want to rest them too much. Like, you see it sometimes, in the NBA playoffs. If you sweep a team, then the team you're playing goes 7, and you don't play for, a week and a half, you look rusty as hell the first, 2 games you come out.
Yeah. Well, the play, now that they removed the collision of the play, the highest injury play you see in baseball is you trying to leg out something at first.
Yep.
And trying to beat out something. I would fucking lose my shit if I'm seeing Mookie or JD try and beat out, an infield single or something like that, roll their ankle, blow out their knee, when it's like, we already clinched. Yeah. Why are we doing this?
That's true. I think as a manager, you gotta say, I'm gonna play you guys, but be smart about it. And the other thing is too is Martinez is chasing Triple Crown. He's probably not gonna get it because Betts, his own teammate's gonna screw him over because Betts can't get out to save his life. So it's interesting. Just food for thought. I saw that it'd be like, if I was a player, I think I'd want to go for it, but obviously as a fan, I'm like, bring up all the single A guys, just let them play for 5 days, and then let's go in the playoffs. So
I was gonna say, it's funny though that you bring the fan perspective, because there was a year the Broncos, when they had Peyton Manning, they were going for an undefeated season. They didn't. They sat Manning. That might have been the year they won it. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know if that was the year they won the Super Bowl.
Probably
But-
not, because he had a noodle for an arm that year.
That's right. Yeah.
He couldn't even throw the ball
Yep.
like 10 yards downfield.
Yep, you're right.
And they somehow won the Super Bowl, even though he literally just couldn't throw the ball to save his life.
That's right. But I remember then
It was
fans were kind of going, what the hell? Why aren't you? Again, football, baseball, I know there's differences, but I just think, I think if you're a fan, if you don't win the World Series and you don't, also, what is it they're going for?
They're so in baseball, you play 162 games.
Yeah.
They have first of all, winning over 100 games in a 162 game season is very rare. They have a chance to win 110, which has only been done 6 times before. They're at 106 wins with 5 games to go.
So they still lost 50 games.
Correct. And they have the best record in baseball.
Well, I'm going to take your word for it because that does not sound that great to me. But then again, I'm not a baseball fan.
But yeah, I think there was the Manning. It was 2 years before they won Super Bowl when they lost.
Yeah, because you're right. Because that was their defense that won.
Yeah, they lost to the Seahawks.
That's it. Yep. That you're correct.
So since we kind of changed the podcast schedule, we're going to recap Week 2 and Week 3 of the NFL, kind of what we saw, thoughts on the games, and then we'll go into Week 4 in this upcoming week.
Most of our controversies are going to be on the Week 3 talk. We're just going to blow through the Week 2 and recap what's going on there. So this is Thursday, September 13th. Thursday night game, Bengals-Ravens. Bengals won 34-23. Hey, shocker. Dalton finds his best receiver in A.J. Green, and they win. Go figure.
Yeah, shocker, playing in fucking fantasy. Me. Every time. If a guy scores 3 touchdowns, don't even ask. He's on the guy's team that I'm playing.
All right, we'll go to the next game.
That was me forecasting Calvin Ridley, Week 3. Guess who had him on Zeke? The guys that I'm playing.
I told you they just had to solve that really. Anyway, speaking of the Falcons, they beat the Panthers 31-24. I think this was the game Matt Ryan ran in for 2 touchdowns. Hey, what did I say? MVP. He does that this whole season, which he's not going to, but he keeps that play up. MVP.
It was impressive enough to see him run in for 2 touchdowns. I'll give you that.
Agree, disagree. Well, this wasn't a morning game. It's just on the top of my thing because I'm following the Rams. Rams shut out the Cardinals 34-0. Is that a surprise? What was a surprise is this was
didn't play.
that was my surprise. Yeah, 34-0. You're not even going to think about playing him. Yeah, well, when we get to Week 3, we'll talk more about that. Chargers and Bills. I mean, this is kind of weird knowing what happened, but Chargers and Bills. Chargers beat them 31-20. I think this Allen played, so already was scoring 20 points, leaps and bounds better than the first week. So they're moving in the right direction. They did, knowing what we know now. Another tie. Vikings-Packers.
God,
This
fucking ties.
Dude, they suck.
They need to get rid
That
of the
half
ties.
game is just so stupid.
No professional game should come down to a tie unless they're in like a point system like soccer. Soccer's like the only sport where a tie makes sense to me.
Yeah, if it's record based,
Like
absolutely no.
I don't care if you have to do freaking like a field goal shootout where you start at just the 5 and you just keep backing up
That
until
would
a
be
team
dope.
misses field goals or something. But yeah, first of all, the overtime's only 10 minutes, so it's not even like a full additional.
They
quarter.
shortened it. Yeah.
And then
dumb.
whoever gets the ball, if they're like a running team, they just take like 8 minutes off the clock. So even if they don't score, the other team has 2 minutes to like do anything or it's over. So it's just.
That's actually I mean, this is week 3, but that's exactly what happened. Falcons Saints. They tried to tie 2. What did the Saints do? They fucking took that clock down to like 2 minutes. Didn't matter. They scored. But
Yeah.
I was like.
But even if the point is, even if they would have kicked the field goal, the Falcons would have like a minute and 30 to have to get down the field and score a touchdown basically. Because if you kick a field goal, they're just gonna tie.
Yep.
It's fucking stupid. The verdict there is it's fucking stupid to have ties.
Yeah.
I just can't
Second time in a row. I'm glad a third didn't happen.
They
All
were
right, still on week 2. Titans beat the Texans 2017. I mean, who's even your quarterback right now? Isn't Mariota out?
Well, technically Mariota was hurt, and we had Mariota got hurt in the first game against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And we lost 27-20, which actually isn't looking like that bad of a loss right now because they're fucking 3-0.
Yeah.
And then second game, Blaine Gabbert played the entire game. So Blaine Gabbert was the quarterback against the Texans. And then in week 3, when we get there, but Gabbert started the game, got a concussion, so they had to play Mariota in with basically a new arm because he has a strained elbow. So that's why the defense would step up and like hold him like 6 points because he could throw the ball. He had Peyton Manning syndrome. He could throw the ball more than Taylor.
Yeah. I mean, God, the Texans, I had high hopes with them with Sean Watson back in.
I know, I fucking made a sleeper MVP pick.
Yeah,
I just fucking shit in the bed.
They might be the most disappointing team yet, honestly.
I agree. Well, as of week 2, they're 0-2. I can't remember if they won this past weekend. We'll get there.
Spoiler alert, they didn't.
Oh, okay. they're 0-3.
They're 0-3.
Future.
Can we talk about the Mahomes Run Derby? Chiefs Steelers. 6 fucking TDs.
Well, what I'm going to say is it's obviously their defense is going to kill them. Steelers still put up 37 points. Great offense, but that's dirty.
That kid can sling.
Dirty.
Good lord.
Question is,
dirty.
does he come back down to earth at some point?
Well, obviously he does.
He's thrown 13 touchdowns in 3 weeks. Like, that's better than Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Like, they showed the statistic. Like, all the people that have thrown, like, 10 or more are, like, for sure Hall of Famers. It's like Favre, Montana, Brady, Manning, like, and now Mahomes.
He will come back down to earth. I think that's inevitable. He can't play this lights out all season. But I think we are going to see him consistently probably throw 3 touchdowns a game with those weapons that he's got there.
I'll give it to at least midway through the season because defensive coordinators, they need to catch up with his play style, with their tools, which they have a fucking lot of. Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, good lord. But
Tyreek Hill's just fucking incredible.
But until then, yeah, I would expect no less than 3 from him. And then you got Kareem Hunt in the backfield. Jesus, that's hopefully the teams in their division kind of catch up since they play them twice. Then again, you have Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos, so that's not likely to happen.
Yeah.
But so let's see here, blah blah blah. Browns almost beat the Saints.
Close.
Almost.
They
almost 21-18.
They Brownsed it.
They should have beat the Saints. What you should have said.
They should have done a lot of things. Wait till we get enter the Baker. All right, before we get there, Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins. Well, they beat the Jets. Yeah, Darnold. He had that one good week. We're all high as a kite.
We all jumped on his bandwagon, and then he is just looking like poo poo.
You know, week 2, and then again we'll get there. Week 3, not too much better. I don't know. Was it just flash in the pan, or did they already figure him out? Then again, they did go against the Lions team, first year head coach. You know, they probably didn't have their shit together either.
Hey, don't hate on the Lions.
Don't hate on the Lions.
Well, but they just did.
Week 3.
Not at all.
Okay. All right, finishing things off real quick. Eagles, Buccaneers. Buccaneers won. It's magic.
You look good.
True. Yeah. Colts over Redskins. This one was a shocker to me. I'm not going to lie. Luck got his shit together pretty quickly. I thought they looked awful after the first week. Niners over the Lions. Again, 0-2. Matt Patricia, new head coach of the Lions. 49ers, while they had Garoppolo. Raiders lost by 1 point to the Broncos. Man, Gruden can't catch a break. Sorry, Gruden. Jaguars over the Patriots.
Got him.
I guess if we had more time, we would compare our predictions to what actually happened. I saw the Patriots and both of you picked the Jags. Good call. I underestimated the Bortles. Even though I was
underestimated the Bortles.
I like how you just talk amazing about quarterbacks, then you don't pick them to win, and then you say you underestimated them.
Whatever. Jaguars won because I knew Bortles had it in him. Cowboys over the Giants. This was another surprise. It just turns out the Giants are a lot shittier than we thought.
Yeah, I was actually very high on the Giants, and they've been disappointing.
I know you were. Didn't you pick them to win?
I picked them to
make the wild card.
I think Eagles win the division.
And the most important game of the week.
The Cowboys finished last.
Bears over the Seahawks. Hey, 24 points at the highest you've scored this season.
Did it get a dub? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I just remember that when you gave me shit about Teddy's winning 96. You got them.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
On to week 3. Okay.
Week 3.
You're not going anywhere until we talk about that Thursday night game.
Browns watch.
Browns watch. Enter the Baker Mayfield. You know what?
Baker the touchdown maker.
Baker the touchdown maker. He was no. Wow. I was about to say.
I don't think he threw a touchdown. He got a 2-point conversion.
Doesn't matter. He led them down the field to help make the touch. Baker, the helping make the touchdown maker.
No, I got one better. He was no Baker. He was a master griller throwing them hot potatoes out. No, we don't like that.
You want some baked potatoes?
I've never heard of baked potatoes. I've never heard of grilled potatoes.
Well, you guys don't know how to cook them.
We don't know how to cook
Yep.
And Darnold looked like a butt shit. God, he looked like crap. He is just absolutely proving my skepticism at the beginning of the week, which I went back on after week 1, and he looked good. And I was like, oh man, Darnold's looking good. He's getting it together, and he's just crap the last 2 weeks.
It could just be the Browns are just that good. They didn't ever really have a bad defense. Well, what happened? Well, I thought Tyrod would at least take him to the promised land, but unfortunately, well, he was. He is. Unfortunately,
into the playoffs as a quarterback. Yes.
Unfortunately, he went down. But hey,
I think that was unfortunate for the Browns.
Enter the Baker.
I don't wish injury upon anyone.
Of that. What was he, like 2 for 11 for 2 yards?
Yeah.
And that game before they brought in Baker.
And then what happened? Here comes Baker. There you go.
Anyway, so the next OT game, which I was afraid we were going to get another freaking tie, Saints-Falcons in the shootout. Saints come out 43-37. Drew Brees freaking them with the okey doke spin move, touchdown to tie the game.
Dirty. In the same game that he broke the completion record, that man, he didn't give a shit about records. He wants to win.
True. I do love Drew Brees, but his spin move, I feel, is a factor for the lack of being able to hit quarterbacks anymore.
No, but he was past the line of scrimmage. He was a runner.
If they would have lit his ass up, they would have gotten flagged.
Honestly,
I disagree.
I agree with TJ. Until there's a quarterback runner, they blow him up. If they still call, they wouldn't even call roughing the passer. If they still threw some bullshit call, then I think, everyone will be in more of a rage because at that point, all's fair and nothing more, and getting your ass plastered to the ground. But what I'll say is, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. That's not a factor of it. But at that point, the defensive back should at least have the wherewithal to know, I can lay this guy the fuck down. 2 of them. He juked 2 of them.
So the problem is, and why I disagree, is because we should not give the defenders like an easy out for having shitty tackling form. If you watch that play, that defender, I don't even know who it was. I think it was their safety. Goes in the same way that douche went in from the Saints against Stephon Diggs in that play last year. His head's straight down. He's trying to go to the side and use his shoulder to hit him rather than just wrapping him up. Like, he's the quarterback. It's Drew Brees. It's not like he's some elusive player. Like, just wrap him up. You don't have to blow him up, to risk a flag or anything like that. Just get the tackle. Like, you just know, I cannot let this guy get forward.
So you're disagreeing that
wrap him up.
That it was a bad tackle. Well, you're agreeing that it was
terrible tackling for him. I do not think that they would have given a flag if they did come in and hit him hard because he's now a runner. Drew Brees was not going to the ground or attempting to go to the ground at all. Drew Brees made it clear, like, I'm trying to get to the end zone. I need to get there.
Yeah, but that decision is made so fast.
True.
Like, if he would have gone to the ground and they would have tried to tackle him, they would have been fine.
And we have seen that. Well, we have seen that just because if they're already in the motion of going down, you touch them, they're going to call it. The thing is, though, again, the difference is he was nowhere near. Well, he is 6'1". He's already near the ground relative to the quarterbacks, but he was going straight. He was not. It didn't look like he was going down. He was going for that touchdown.
But you have to remember that Drew Brees 99% of the time is sliding.
Agreed.
So you're running at him, expecting him to slide.
That is true. He is
no
Michael Vick.
Like that's an even worse excuse for the defender then. Why did he just run through him straight with the shoulder down?
Because you stay high. Because if you try to wrap him up low and he slides in you're getting flagged.
It's like if you're so worried about getting flagged and you're banking on the fact that he's going to slide, why not ease up a bit and go in just ready to two-hand touch him down and just like get the play done?
Because you don't want to ease up too much where he gets extra yardage. When you're running,
as in the extra yards for the end zone.
Well, when you're running like this way, you go out at full speed. That way, you can cut off the amount of yards. So if I slowly walk up to him, he's got 3 more yards.
He also wasn't one-on-one. That's another that he had a defender with him, and they both let him get through. That is terrible.
It's a double flag. They both of them.
Just terrible defensive form from the Falcons. They deserve to lose.
Jesus, I thought the fucking D lineman had the worst. I guess it still sucks being a DB too.
Yeah. So moving forward, my Skins laying it down to the Packers, 31-17. Rodgers still looked pretty decent. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, Skins take out the Packers, 31-17. I was a bit surprised. Granted, I'm the one in the group that's pretty high on the Skins. I think they're going to snag that second wild card. I didn't think they would handle the Packers the way they did. They looked good, especially bouncing back after that fucking trouncing from the Colts.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm surprised because I'm high on Aaron Rodgers, and the fact that he couldn't make it happen again. Then again, that's not going to happen every game where he comes from behind against like the Bears.
I think the Redskins have a good defense. They were at home. Rodgers was still probably hobbled, and what we know all along, the Packers defense sucks ass. It's just like, that's just how it
Yep.
is.
They've never.
The Packers defense is not doing Rodgers any favors. He's going to have to put up 30 to 35 games for him to win.
Well, and usually he can, which is why again I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, the Redskins have a good defense. You have to remember they got rid of Jordy, so they've got Josh Norman on Devontae Adams shutting him down. So you're basically relying on Randall Cobb, and we've already been over
Jimmy
this.
Graham.
Someone at running back that Aaron Rodgers met 3 days ago.
Oh yeah, they've never helped him with running back. I think we talked about Ryan Grant in the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Their lack of
Good
running game very much hinders them, especially when Rodgers is in the state he's in now, where he's hobbled, he's not.
I was gonna say, especially when he is not pushing the running game with his feet. Yeah.
Very true. So moving forward,
Actually, why not? Well, I was gonna say if he could have stayed healthy, well, more healthy than he is now, and he incorporates his running game, these rules that could make it hell for linemen and DBs everywhere.
pretty much. So Eagles Colts. Eagles eke out the victory. I say the Colts are a little more surprising to me than I was giving them credit for at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they're 1-2, but well, I don't know.
16-20 against the Eagles.
Oh, I had them last in the AFC South. Yeah, I guess they're better than I thought. Yeah, and the return of Carson Wentz too, and they still got it done.
Yeah, I'm kind of unsure on the Colts because they lost to the Bengals, who are having a good year. I think they're 3-0.
2-1.
2-1. They
Maybe
lose
they
this
lost.
week.
Yeah, Panthers just beat them.
Oh, that's right. And then they beat the Redskins. We just talked about beating the Packers, and they played the Eagles on the road. And it was a weird game. It poured rain the entire time. Both teams didn't really throw the ball that much. But luck has looked good. I'm a little concerned that they put Jacoby Brissett in for the Hail Mary and not Luck, but I guess it came out today that Luck's arm's fine. They just wanted Brissett to throw it. No point in risking Luck injury shoulder throwing a 70-yard bomb. And their defense has looked, I think, better than a lot of people thought it was going to be because the Colts have been known the last. Well, really, even when Manning was there, their defense wasn't that great. They had Bob Sanders and
Well, they had
when they had Bob Sanders
and Brian Mathis.
Robert Mathis.
Robert Mathis.
That was a good defense. But after that, the last kind of Manning years and then the whole time they've been there, their defense has been awful.
Yeah.
They've kind of won based on the quarterback position, and their defense has been pretty good. So,
Eagles get it done.
Yep.
Now, probably the biggest upset of the week, the Bills.
I think that's the biggest upset of the year so far, based on how the season was going.
Put it fucking down on the Vikings. On the road, mind you. They were in Minnesota, 27-6.
I'm that's probably gonna be your biggest upset of the year. No,
Going into
I don't
the game,
understand how that happens.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it, but
going into the game, I thought the Bills clearly looked like the worst team, and the Vikings clearly looked like one of the best teams in the NFL.
worst team in the league.
Yeah.
The Bills. Yeah.
They looked like they were just beelining it for the number one pick.
Pretty much. Allen, he didn't blow away the stat lines. Just looking at it, 15 to 22, 196 yards and a touchdown. Those definitely aren't superstar numbers, but when you're talking about just manage the game, don't be stupid with the ball, don't turn it over. That leads to W's.
And the Vikings only 6 points with Thielen and Diggs. I understand they didn't have Dalvin Cook, but you can generate any running game. Something.
The Bills have a decent defense. It's just, I think the Bills kind of just hit them in the mouth early, and that was it. I will applaud this game. It did give me the best laugh of the weekend because there was a meme. I don't know if you guys remember in week 2, Vontae Davis retired at halftime.
Yep.
So the meme was week 3 when the Bills were up 20 or something at halftime. Was they put fucking Vontae Davis's face on top of Bob Boucher and remember when Vontae Davis showed up at halftime and the Bills beat the Vikings?
Wow.
I was dying laughing when I saw that.
Oh, that's good. Oh, man. All right, moving in. Dolphins-Raiders. 28-20 in favor of the Dolphins. The Raiders cannot get their shit together under Mr. Gruden.
And once again, apparently Carr has been unintroduced to a certain Amari Cooper. How do you not even at least target him? Good lord! Just like the formula with Dalton and Green. You throw it to Green, you win games. All right. Well, then again, they lost against the Broncos last week, but still.
And I think the Dolphins are surprising 3-0. They did beat the Titans, who it's been just a weird because there's the Dolphins beat the Titans and the Titans go and they beat the Texans and Jaguars back-to-back weeks. Two teams that we were all of us were pretty high on. But they have beat the Jets, who obviously are starting a rookie quarterback. They beat the Raiders, who haven't won a game. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dolphins do these next couple weeks because they've got at the Patriots, at the Bengals, and then the Bears. So they've got three games coming up that aren't, I think, as easy as what the Jets and the Raiders were. So we'll kind of see what they're made of coming up here. I wouldn't be shocked if when they get through those three that they're 3-3. But if they come out and they're 4-2 or 5-1, then who knows? But
wow, how did they win? Tannehill led in rushing with 26 yards.
Yeah, but he also threw 3 touchdowns. When you don't even give up 3 touchdowns worth of points, that's how you win.
Jesus.
And he had no pressure. He had no pressure all day.
My point was no rushing game, so
no rush, no pass rush from the Raiders.
Well, that too. Oh, I see what you did there. Sorry, Mr. Gruden. They're not hard to find, but they are pretty expensive.
They are.
Well, I'm saying not hard to find when one's in your fucking lap.
That's true. That's true. What he should have said is that cheap ones are hard to find because he had a very good one. He just didn't want to pay him what he deserved, so he let him go.
And he's proven it, I think, by far.
Yes, he has.
You know what? I was thinking about this. I don't believe that Gruden never talked to Mac about not staying or about staying, whatever. Because according to him, he never talked to him about contracts at all. I think as a new coach, he didn't want to pay the money. He didn't want to be pretty much chained to a non-offensive player, right? This guy, I mean, yes, it's fucking Khalil Mack, but he ain't your quarterback. He ain't your, Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown. He ain't your Todd Gurley or Le'Veon Bell. He's one of the best defensive players ever. Not only that, I think he wanted it to be his team. I think if he did that, it would have been Mac's team.
I think it was surprising because we talked about this like the very one our first episode or the second one. The best quarterback, undisputed, or the best position in football, most important, is obviously the quarterback. I think the second one, unarguably, is someone who disrupts the quarterback, the other team's best position. Like, if you build a Super Bowl winning team, you want your quarterback to be good, and then you want your pass rush to be good. If you can do both those things, like, I guess what I think, would you rather have, like, Odell Beckham, or would you rather have, like, you're playing the Patriots, right? Tom Brady's on the other side of that. Would you rather have Odell Beckham on your team, or would you rather have Khalil Mack on your team that's going to disrupt their guy? I think the pass rush guy, Von Miller, J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, I think they deserve all the money they get because they can single-handedly. If J.J. Watt, like we've seen it before, if he hits Brady like 3-4 times a game and Brady's like he does not like to get hit, he looks awful like the entire game. Yeah. Like he can change the game for you.
Is that? I would like to see some stat or money or whatever. Is that the second base position? I doubt it. How does that relate to like a left tackle? Because that'd be something interesting to look at. Because especially with a deal like Mac and Aaron Donald, that position it must be just skyrocketing, or it could just be those are once in a lifetime players.
Well, I think it might be a combination of both. I think you do have these kind of phenom talents and these kind of once in a generation type guys that deserve this kind of money. But I think you've seen the league become so quarterback dominant, it's so quarterback focused that teams had to find and pay, like Ben's saying, the guys that are going to cause the most direct impact on those other players. And so the pass rush is exactly how you counteract a Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
So this is from October 2017. So basically a year ago. The highest paid position, so this has a little chart that has every player that's the highest paid at their position.
Yeah.
So quarterback is the highest. It was Flacco at that time, $24.5 million. The next highest on the chart was Justin Houston, outside linebacker, $22.1 million. The second highest on the chart after that was Josh Norman, $20 million. And then on the defensive line, you had Von Miller, $19.9 million, Muhammad Wilkerson, $18 million, and Dominic Sue, $19.1 million. Your next highest on offense was DeAndre Hopkins at $18 million. So basically, everyone on the defensive line that's the highest paid their position is making more than the highest paid wide receiver.
Yeah, I guess it
so
is trending.
If you look at Justin Houston's a pass rusher, Von Miller's a pass rusher, they have them in here as linebackers, but both of their specialties are rushing the passer.
Well, Mac is.
Mac's the same thing also, yeah. So he would be out here. Norman obviously shuts down the pass game, but even offensive line, like Trent Williams is the highest paid offensive lineman last year at $15 million. Le'Veon Bell's the highest paid running back at $12.1 million. and he wants more money. So you've got a guy. So I mean, I think it shows when you pay. Like you're either want a quarterback or you want to stop a quarterback. And if Mac literally helps you do that, he's a top 5 quarterback stopper.
You know, it's funny then. Maybe Gruden was thinking the exact same thing, and he went, "Yeah, the one car. I'm gonna get another quarterback."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the story of the Raiders' problems. If you look at fucking Derek Carr and Khalil Mack, you're like, Derek Carr. What?
Problem is they'd already paid Carr. I think that way a little bit.
True. So, all right. So moving forward, the man that Bill loves to hate, the Joe Flacco led Ravens take out the Broncos. 27-14.
Shocker. Yeah, who had Lindsey that got thrown out of the game? Yeah, I did. That was cool.
That's right, the kid that was like throwing punches after he got tackled.
But you know what? I looked at it. It looked like someone landed on his arm, and it was just a reaction. I don't care who you are, toughest man in the world. You stomp on my hand, I'm gonna at least like make a little slap at you.
Regardless, it was an NFL pileup. Like that happens every fucking play.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't have to put himself in that position. He was nowhere near that pile, and then he made himself, be put in.
He also wasn't like in the middle of the pile. He was on outside and a ref seat.
He had even no business being there.
Yet another example of Bill's terrible fantasy choices. So,
have you won a game yet?
I'm 2-1 in one of 3 leagues.
What are you in the other 2 leagues?
1 and 2.
Okay. So you're combined 4 and 5. Almost 500.
So,
but you know what? Well, I mean, just real quick with the Ravens, their passing game is a lot better than I thought it was going to be because they actually worked on their receivers, not because of Flacco.
Because they have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Joe Flacco. Yeah, I agree. So,
and they have a good
Bengals, 31-21. Panthers take the W. Not incredibly shocked. Panthers were at home.
Yeah, I didn't watch this game. I mean, Bengals, they're a good team. They were 2-0 going in.
Panthers are good too. They went to playoffs last year. Cam Newton had 4 touchdowns. McCaffrey had his career high 184 yards on the ground. And they're missing one of their best defensive offensive linemen.
Yeah. Andy Dalton throws 4 picks. I think that's the story there. I think they're in that game if he doesn't turn the ball over so much.
Yeah, for the Panthers, it's just can Cam stay healthy and then can Kuechly stay healthy because their defense is leaps and bounds better when Kuechly's on the field. He just has concussion problems.
Honestly, with those two in there, they might be one of the probably are the better teams in the NFL.
They're just in a tough division.
That they are. The NFC South is legit. So,
and good and bad because you can be the shittiest team, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're in the playoffs next season.
Yeah, I mean those kind of near 500 records will get you through.
Yeah.
Giants Texans. Giants on the road take the W. Bounce back.
Finally got a win. I think so. Barkley hasn't been like he's been good, but he hasn't been like insanely good. But I think the fact that he's just been good, he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. At least
that
he's got to be leading at this
only
point
competition. Darnold is fucking dumb.
Well, we'll find out because Baker and Rosen are now starting fairly early in the season. And if either of them can spring it on, Baker's technically 1-0. Everyone's going to credit him to win because they were losing when he came in, and they won after he came in. So Baker's technically 1-0. He did it on Thursday Night Football. The whole world watching.
Oh,
yeah. Granted, he has to sustain it, and he did it against the Jets. It's not like he beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. But we'll see what happens. But Barkley's definitely doing enough to be the leader right now. But where the competition originally looked like kind of him and Darnold, that was it. Now it's going to be him. Obviously Darnold's still there, Mayfield, and see what Rosen does.
Don't forget Josh Allen in Buffalo.
There you go. He's one.
Who's technically one.
Yeah.
I think he came in last game, but they were already getting blown out.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter.
Actually, it's funny that you say Baker Mayfield is 1-0. They still credit it to Tyrod Taylor.
Because he started.
Probably because he started.
Well, so it's weird. So, this is a weird comparison, but in softball, if you're down, or I guess this works also in baseball. Yeah. I just don't know shit about the rules. Yeah, if you're down, you put in a new pitcher, and then you win under that new pitcher. It's his win. I guess that doesn't work in football. So I can't say if it's because he started. He did play the majority of the game because Baker came in before the second half.
Well,
so I don't know why, but that's what I heard is Tyrod got the win, not him.
Maybe statistically, but in the eyes of the people that watch the game.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yep, there's definitely Baker. Titans Jaguars defensive shootout. Wow, 9-6. Titans come out on top though.
How'd your defense? Thank you.
You're welcome. Defense is good.
Titans defense is good. They look very solid.
So we'll see. It was a game of field goals. Suckup actually missed a field goal, which is rare for him. But
God, kickers are just
Titans are
shitty.
Titans are 2-1, but they're 2-0 in the division. They've now beat the Texans and the Jags, so they're off to a good start. And they beat one of them was on the road. I think they just won in Jacksonville.
Yep,
They
so
won.
in Jacksonville for that one.
Yeah. So
Well,
We'll see. If you beat them, sure, I'll eat my
I think we
words.
play them. I do.
we'll see. So moving forward, the continuation of the Mahomes Run Derby. Chiefs 38-27 over San Francisco.
Yeah.
Mahomes another 3 touchdowns.
He was shit. He only threw 3 touchdowns this time.
He's
300 yards.
they're figuring them out.
He's on the decline. Trade him. He's immediately trade that. Cut his production in third. He's gonna have 1 touchdown the rest of the game. The rest of the year.
Don't give John Gruden a stiffy. He might go for him.
Sad part of that game, Jimmy G tears his ACL. He's done for the year.
Oh man, I mean, he was another guy I love to just hate on because second coming of Jesus and all that crap. But again, I don't wish injury upon anybody. That's just a shitty feeling when your starting quarterback you just dumped hundreds of millions on goes down in 3rd week. That's their backup is no Nick Foles. I mean, that's probably the end of their season right there. That sucks.
More than likely, I agree. It's probably the end of the season for the 49ers. Granted, I didn't think they had a ton of hope anyway, but any sparkle of hope that they had with Jimmy G leading them
Well,
is now gone.
honestly, I think that's all they had was hope. He was still cementing his. He was still trying to cement that he was a good quarterback after that contract he made. But they did have hope because of how he started off last season. That's all they had. Now it's gone, and now it's Gotham City. No hope. There's no Batman. Sorry.
Funny tweet I saw about this day. Not that I condone. Again, it sucks that he got hurt, but this is at Lake Show Yo. Deshaun Watson hung out with Mia Khalifa towards ACL. Reggie Bush dated Kim Kardashian towards ACL. Jimmy Garoppolo was seen with a porn star. Guess what he just did? Towards ACL. Fellas, if she's on Pornhub, stay away from her. But yeah, it does suck for the 49ers. The 49ers, I think, were already kind of like, they were on such a high because he went, 6-0 last year? Like, I think he played
He was undefeated till this.
And then, had they won a game yet? They had won one, so they were 1-1 going into that one.
Yeah.
And they fight against the Vikings, too.
Yeah, switching over to the Chiefs, though, Mahomes has been phenomenal, but I don't think I'm sold on the Chargers, Steelers, or the 49ers defense that he's played. He does have at Denver, Jacksonville, and then at the Patriots as his next 3. So I think TJ and I kind of talked about this already, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what he does. And then he's got Bengals, Broncos, Browns. So he's kind of got 6 decent teams with good defenses in a row. So you're gonna have to adjust. Jacksonville is gonna come in and they like to talk and they like to play physical, and Jalen Ramsey wants to get in your face and he's gonna be talking shit. So that'll be a big test to see kind of where he's at. Not to discredit anything he's done, just he hasn't faced an elite defense yet, and it has only been 3 games. So I'm interested to watch those games to see how he does, because I don't think they're putting up 40 on Jacksonville, and if they do, then they just seem even more legit than they already do now. But
what's scary is everyone's talking about Mahomes. You have the NFL leading rusher last year in your backfield. Mahomes starts getting shut down. Hey, you go to him. They shut down both. I mean, that's a phenomenal defense right there. And I would be super curious if Jacksonville can do it, but don't disregard Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, you just when you start to get, the thing I'm concerned about is not the other team that do this, but even like the Patriots, they don't have an amazing defense, but Belichick does those exotic things with blitzes and schemes and who's dropping into zones. And
that was Patricia. Let's see how he does. They're not doing so hot this year. Then again, I think they were talking about it to death when they lost to the Lions. Like, they're not the same team that they are in September that they are the rest of the year. So we'll see how they do the rest of the season. I'm just saying, without Patricia, I don't even know if I'm sure they hired another defense coordinator. I doubt it's Belichick running that show. But we'll see what they do going forward.
So they got Broncos this week, Monday night. So it'll be Mahomes in the spotlight against at least the scariest pass rusher he's played yet, Von Miller. He's just gonna. Von Miller always likes to play people like that. They're kind of on a high horse and just show that he can just dominate the game. And the Broncos have never been a bad defense, so it'll be a good test. And then Jacksonville the week after. So
we'll see. Rams handle business against their fellow LA team, the Chargers, 35-23.
Battle
they kind of win.
For yeah,
how I expected it to. Rams still looking good.
Well, big news there. We lost Akib and we lost Marcus Peters. They both went down with calf injuries. The latest I heard about Akib was he's getting surgery. I think he said he was only going to be out for a couple months. They do expect him to return, but That's a huge fucking loss. And then you have Marcus Peters. Oh no, he had both youth and Pro Bowl skills on his side, and he's down too. They at least said he's going to be inactive for this coming week. We'll talk about it during the predictions, but they're going against the Vikings against Diggs and Thielen. I think we're going to miss them, but I'll talk about that more in our predictions.
Seahawks, Cowboys. Seahawks get the win at home. Cowboys look like poop.
Cowboys are painful to watch this season. I thought they were going to be leaps and bounds better with Elliott back. Turns out they're missing Bryant. It was like he's laughing all the way to to unemployment, but still, they're just painful to watch. They can't do anything right. My God.
And I wasn't high on them to start the year. I actually picked them this last division. Dak just hasn't looked good. So
Seahawks ain't exactly flying high either, but they're enough to beat Cowboys.
Yep. Next one, Bears at Cardinals. Bears comeback victory. They were down 14-0 early. Come back, get the 16-14 win. Khalil Mack is looking better than advertised. God damn. He is such an impact. They said, I saw a stat on him, he has more quarterback rushes by himself than the whole Raiders defense has this whole season so far.
Yeah. I remember when we were talking about the contract, it talks about Mack and Darnold. Donald. But I thought Donald did more in my eyes than I'm a Rams fan, but I don't think Donald has had that big of an impact solely himself the way Mack has. I mean, my God, you just turn it up.
It's a different position though. Donald's kind of sometimes he's in tests to just clog up the line too, not always get after the
he is a bigger, wider guy.
It's crazy. We'll see. Bears are first in the NFC North now, so we'll see what they do. Another shock of the week: Lions Patriots. Lions take it down at home, 26-10. Tom Brady did not look good in that game.
I don't know. He's so good. You'd hate to say that it's father time, but eventually father time is going to get here. And it's just it'll be one of those years like with Manning where he can audible, he can do all the stuff, and he feels like he can make all the throws, but it's the velocity on the throw is not going to be as fast. He's not going to throw it as deep as much. So the safeties are going to start pulling in closer and closer and closer. Those windows get smaller. So hopefully it's not that, and they'll figure it out. But
good Monday night game to finish out the week. Steelers over the Bucks on the road, 30-27. The Fitzmagic ran out.
Well, I mean, he came back at the end to almost get the victory, but they were in that hole because of him. You throw 3 picks, one of them being a pick 6. That's his story every year. He does great. People go, "Why is this guy a starter?" And then he throws 3 picks, and you're like, "That's fine."
You don't want that Hall of Fame backup quarterback spot for him still?
That cemented it at that he's a backup.
That's
the Hall of Fame.
That being said, he did throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, so the picks obviously didn't help. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I think it was still there, but they were in that hole because of him.
Looking ahead to next week, I think we'll just start with that game. I think Jameis is going to be on the bench unless Fitzpatrick. He's going to have a series of bad games at this point because, they were 3 points away from the Steelers. Who were at the end of the year, I think we still expect them to be one of the better teams in football.
Prior to last night's game against the Steelers, I would have said the same thing. You for sure go with Fitzpatrick over Winston. I don't know. He kind of left the door open. I don't think people will be as pissed off to put Winston in because they're going to go, he lost us the game. Sure, he came back, but those turnovers were on him. So I think if the door is a little more open than had he just came out, thrown bombs, won it, didn't get that pick 6, and they would have won. They didn't get the pick 6.
I think at the end of the day, he's giving them a chance to compete against teams that nobody really thought coming into the season that they would be competing with. So I think, barring some multiple game collapse, we will still see him. Granted, they're at Chicago this week. We could see him get disrupted quite a bit.
Winston's going to be wearing a Mac shirt on the sideline.
Yep. So I'm taking my Bears at home.
We'll go to Thursday night so we can go over. So Vikings at the Rams. Rams are favored 6.5. This is like a good. So last Thursday night, no offense to the Browns and the Jets, but I would have just rather watched fucking paint dry than watch that until Baker came in the game. But Vikings Rams, these are what we thought would probably be the 2 best teams in the NFC at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I think all of us had them
in the NFC Championship,
or at least getting buys into the playoffs. I think you might have had the Saints.
The Eagles.
Eagles getting a bye. Yeah. But still, two of the better teams. The Vikings are coming off at this point loss. The Rams are obviously 3-0, but this will obviously be also the Rams' biggest test so far. So, and we touched on them losing Peters and Talib, which is not ideal going against a team that basically has two number one wide receivers in Thielen and Diggs.
I know. I know they just lost 20-something to 6 to the Bills. I think that's the exception more so what they usually do. I don't know. They have Sam Shields. He's a great corner. He has some injury problems, but that second wide receiver position, Thielen, I see him killing us. And it's going to be up to Goff to keep up. I know our offense is still intact. I think you're going to see a shootout. Unfortunately, I think because of the two injuries on the Rams, I think the Vikings have a better defense as a whole at this point. Instead of now all of our money and our talent are up front, I think our DBs get blown. And I don't think Goff can. As much as it pains me, I'm going to go Vikings.
I'm sticking Rams.
So am I think.
I don't think that, well, the Vikings just got blown out at home by the Bills. I don't think the Vikings defense has looked as good as we thought it was. They've given up, 29 and 27 the past two games?
Yeah, the Vikings, yeah.
So, and the offense hasn't looked very consistent, if at all. The Rams still do have their offense. They got Gurley. They still got Donald.
Yeah, they're
I think the Rams still have enough talent on defense to at least manage the Vikings' weapons. And I think the Rams have better weapons on offense. So they're going to get it done.
I mean, the only thing I don't like is it's also a short week. So the adjustments they're going to make in the backfield, the DBs, because the backfield is the running back area, it's going to have to be quick. And hopefully those guys are up to the challenge of Thielen and Diggs, which probably right now up there one of the two top duos.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Rams also. I think Cousins is still getting acclimated in Minnesota, but we'll see. I think it'll be a big game for both just to kind of see the direction they're heading. I think it's kind of a win-win game. I don't think if you lose, you feel bad about yourself, but if you win, you can feel really good about what you have. So we'll start Sunday morning. First one I've got is Eagles at the Titans. This will be a big one for Tennessee because they, if you asked me at the beginning of the year, their first three games were going to be Miami, Houston, at Jacksonville, at Miami. I would have thought they would have beat Miami and lost the other two, and it's reversed. They lost Miami and beat the other two. So Wentz is back. He looked a little rusty first game. Again, it was raining. So I think I'm going to go Eagles. As it pains me, I know Bill and I both pick against your teams, but if Mariota isn't healthy, Gabbard's not the answer. And as good as the Titans' defense is, even if they only give up, 15 to 20 points, I just don't know if the Titans can score enough to win without a healthy Mariota.
Yeah, I'm going with Eagles as well. The Titans haven't been able to get anything going on the ground. Defense is good, but Mariota's got nothing in the tanks as far as his arm goes. I think Wentz kind of starts to find his rhythm a little bit, and the Eagles come out on top.
Yep, that's exactly my reasoning. Wentz shakes off the rust. He's still got the W against the Colts, and I think he turns it on Titans. He reminds us why he didn't. I guess he didn't take him into the playoffs. He took him to the playoffs. He didn't compete in the playoffs. But
Jets at the Jaguars. I'm going Jacksonville. No further explanation needed.
Yeah, I don't think I need to explain why I'm going to pick Jacksonville. So
yeah, in Jacksonville, yeah. I'll do Jaguars too.
Dolphins at the Patriots. Despite the Dolphins being 3-0, the Patriots are a whole touchdown favorite, 7 points.
Ew.
It's pretty good.
That's what she said.
I'm going to go Dolphins. I think Cameron Wake gets enough contact on Tom Brady to piss him off. They still don't have Edelman back. I don't think Josh Gordon didn't play last week, so he didn't even get his first game to play. I get that he's practicing, but even if he plays, he's got the hamstring thing. Is he healthy? The Dolphins have a pretty good defense. Tannehill's playing good. I'm going to go Dolphins.
I am actually going to go Dolphins as well. I think the Dolphins are riding high. Defense is looking pretty good. Tannehill is looking solid. He's not turning it over too much. I think they get it done.
God, I know it's saying 3-0, 1-2. Patriots did not look good against the Lions, but it is just so damn hard to go against the genius that is Belichick. If you think he's not going to make any adjustments and chew some ass, we're all wrong. He's going to make some changes. In Foxborough, I think we got Patriots.
Like chewing some ass.
Chewing some ass out.
Did you guys see the video of the kid that want to high five? He just walked right by him and said, "Fuck you, kid." There was like a thing, he like walked out the tunnel on Monday night wearing his hoodie. There was like two kids on the side. I just looked at him, walked right by.
What a
savage. All right, Texans at the Colts. Texans haven't looked good either. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Oh.
Colts are only 1 point favorite, but I'm going Colts.
I'm going Texans. I think they're going to get a win. I think they're going to get off the schneid. I think Watson's going to get enough done against that Colts defense. And I think the Texans defense will kind of start to figure it out and be able to hold them.
So high on the Texans too. I don't know what their problem is. Watson should be just killing it. Well, he had 5 touchdowns last game. Or no, 5 touchdowns the whole season. I'm going Colts. I don't see the Texans turning it around. Which sucks because I'm a big fan of their coach. He seems really passionate, but wow, he can't get anything right.
Bills at the Packers. Despite what the Bills do with the Vikings, I'm going Packers.
Yeah, and the Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau is nearly unbeatable. I'm taking Packers.
Yep, I agree, Packers.
Good thing for the Bills is that they won't have to worry about Clay Matthews tackling anyone, because if he does, just immediate flag. So.
Those flags are bullshit.
Yeah,
that rule is so fucking stupid.
It's just more and more people are getting upset, so I hope they keep throwing it and then something's done about it.
Honestly, I know we're talking about like the kick return. They're trying to phase that out, and that's gonna ruin football. All those targeting hits on receivers, making it hell for DBs. That's gonna ruin football. I think this is probably the best example of what's gonna ruin football. Because I gotta say, even just take last night's game, Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. That was a tough game to watch because you see a sack, one of the just tastiest things in football. That nice, juicy fucking sack. And now, okay, we're keeping it PG-13 up in here. Whatever. A big old sack, and they're taking it away. It's a penalty now.
That big old sack.
Sacks are penalties now, and it's BS.
Sack lunch. No.
I was telling TJ if at least the not about my big sack, but if at least the quarterback still has the ball in his possession, then I'm not gonna say anything goes, right? You can't smack QB over the head. But there should be more leniency if he still has the ball in his hands. Because a sack is a sack is a sack. And I'm tired of sacks being called as penalties now. It's bullshit.
I'm disturbed by how many times you're saying sack.
In my opinion, because I love watching good defensive play. I fucking love
I thought that was going to be
No,
PG.
No. My personal favorite thing is just seeing that quarterback just get sacked. That's my favorite thing about football. I personally find more satisfaction in that.
Alright, so then we got the Lions at the Cowboys. Again, not high on the Cowboys, I'm going Lions.
I'm not high on either team, but I do think that the Lions will get it done because the Cowboys are the most inconsistent team I've ever seen.
Yeah, Lions, they have a great receiving core. I think they have the better quarterback. I think they start scoring. I'm sure people think Dak is better, Cowboys fans. But, I think Lions come out, score some points, Cowboys can't keep up.
Buccaneers are the Bears ready to touch on. I think TJ said he's going Bears. I'm going Bears.
Against the Buccaneers, dude, you guys can't put up points to save your fucking life. That's all. That's all Fitzmagic can do is put up points and throw interceptions.
You're going Fitzmagic?
I'm going Fitzmagic. I'm sorry. I'm going.
The one thing you do have for him is that the Bears DBs can't catch interceptions, so he might not have as many next game.
It's all right. He'll just be fumbling the ball when Big Mac is giving him his big sack.
Wow. So I'm sure you're the first one ever to think of that.
Which is really just sounds good.
Secret sauce, big sack, penalty.
That's what I would.
Bengals at the Falcons. I'm going Falcons.
Why'd you sound surprised? I'm going Falcons too.
The Bengals are 2-1.
Well, I'm
is the favorite, but
I'm also riding high on the Falcons too. I still think they've had some bad luck these past few games. He found Ridley. He just needs to find frickin' Julio Jones consistently too in the end zone. And yeah, you guys are so dangerous tonight.
Yeah, I'm going Atlanta as well. I think Ridley coming out huge last game shows the weapons that Ryan's got. Atlanta takes it home.
Yeah, and again, never wished injury on Freeman, but I thought Tevin Coleman was the more explosive of the two backs, and I think he's showing it.
Seahawks at the Cardinals. Rosen's debut announced today. I'm still going Seahawks.
Yeah, Cardinals look like ass. So, you're going Seahawks.
Only because I think this is going to be Rosen's first start. He's going to have some hella jitters. Yeah, I'm going Seahawks too.
Browns at the Raiders. I'm going Browns. I think I picked the Browns to technically win 3 straight weeks, but I think I picked them to beat the Saints and the Jets, but I'm going Browns again.
It pains me, but I think this may be the first time ever that I'm picking the Browns.
Okay, that's just, I didn't say Gruden. Yeah, I'm picking Browns.
No, fuck no. The
Baker,
Raiders are trash.
Andrew Baker.
The Raiders are fucking garbage.
Go from Baker to Master Chef.
Saints at the Giants. I'm going Saints. Breeze just look too good. That offense is just unstoppable.
Yeah, the Giants haven't looked as good as I thought they would, and the Saints are looking better than I thought they would, so I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah, Giants, even though they're looking as bad, they're doing worse than I thought they would. So I'm going to go Saints. But you know what? The Giants, I think they're also rooting for Darnold to do bad so that they don't look like idiots for not picking him. But Eli Manning, the man's got 2 years tops.
They got to get off the line. 49ers at the Chargers. No Garoppolo. I'm going Chargers.
Yep. Yeah, I think the no Jimmy G takes him out of running completely. Take Chargers.
Yep. Sorry, Niners. I feel your pain. Bradford went down for us early in the season, a couple years ago. A lot of years ago. Yep, Chargers.
Good Sunday night game. Ravens at the Steelers. Ravens have looked good, but I'm still going Steelers.
I don't know. I think I'm going to take Baltimore. I think Super Bowl winning quarterback Joe Flacco will lead them to the promised land.
Bill's ready to pick Joe Flacco. He doesn't want to admit it.
I'm going to go with the Ravens. Steelers' defense has looked like garbage.
Yeah,
and
Super Bowl winning quarterback Joe Flacco.
They have great receivers. They have a great running back now in Alex Collins. So I'm gonna pick Ravens.
Steelers might actually have the best 1-2 receiving budget in the league right now. No disrespect to Jason Thielen, but Brown's probably the best receiver in the league in my opinion. And Juju Smith-Schuster is coming on to be extremely good.
Can we talk about that fucking stiff arm that dude threw out in that Monday night game last night?
Juju's looking good as a number 2 receiver. All right, Monday night Chiefs and Broncos. We kind of touched on this with Mahomes having to face a bigger defense.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good game.
I still think the Chiefs win. I don't think it's as high scoring as they've been, but I think they score enough points on Denver, and I don't know if Case Keenum's the answer, so I think they win kind of in a 24-20 type game.
I think the Broncos win. I'm taking Denver. I think Von Miller does enough to disrupt Mahomes, and the Broncos win a 24-20 type game.
Now, again, even if you disrupt Mahomes, you got Hunt, and yeah, I think Case Keenum, he may be your now because he's a better quarterback than they've had in quite a few years. But he's not your future, and he's also not the guy that's going to put up points to compete with Mahomes. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
All right, did you hear about the guy that invented the knock-knock joke? He won the Nobel Prize.
So that'll do it for the couch potatoes.
Who the fucking coach? Right.
This is the 4th episode of the Coach Potatoes. Thank you for joining us. Like we said, these are going to be posted on hopefully no later than Thursdays. And y'all have a good week.